My name is Jenny Belisle, and I am the Executive Founding Director of Arts CCC, which is Arts Contra Costa County. I've been an artist for over 25 years. I have been an educator, administrator, and an advocate. And part of that time, I served as the Managing Director of Contra Costa County's art agency. And I had written a grant for the California Art Council called Jumpstarts, in which we were awarded funds for about a month for the Poetry Series program. When supervisors decided to dissolve that arts agency, a group of art advocates from Contra Costa County got together and we said, we don't want this program to start to end for Juvenile Hall youth. So we got together, we created Arts CCC, Arts Contra Costa County. So this Poetry Series program was that catalyst to make this happen. And the one thing that is just incredibly beautiful about the program is that we are supporting Contra Costa County artists. So we got together and we said, Donté Clark and Jose Cordon. They are the perfect poets for this program. They are internationally and nationally known poets. Their art practices are inspiring. And what's really incredible about their work is the community work that they do. And so, as the Executive Founding Director, I've been attending the workshops, and it's incredibly inspiring, the youth, the talent. And to me personally, this program has my heart and soul. I know personally the importance of the arts and how it can help you mentally and physically and be transformative. And the mission of our program here for the Poetry Series program is we want to make sure that youth are seen, they are heard, they are acknowledged, and they are mentored and supported. And that's whatever we can do, that shows the importance of this Poetry Series program.
My name's Jose Cordon, also go by Cordon Concepts. I've been writing poetry for about 15 years now. Been commissioned by several folks, performed at several places, including California Endowment, the San Francisco Foundation. We've done some work with them. Also done a lot of stuff with creating original productions here in the county of Contra Costa, right? So really just all immersive in there for about 15 years through the arts and especially through poetry. The Poetry Series program is a workshop for young men inside of Juvenile Hall where we get together and really use poetry as a means, what I believe, poetry as a means to mentorship, right? It's really allowed what I believe mentorship to these young boys, young men, and using poetry as a catalyst for that, and then it evolves into several places, several conversations, several topics. And my role in some of that is just really being a support and a resource for folks to kind of bounce ideas off of and bring a little bit of my poetic experience into the conversation, and also some of my lived experience as someone who has been a person that has been affected by the juvenile justice system here when I was younger. So that's my role, and that's what the Poetry Workshop series is. I've learned a few things, but I think primarily one of the biggest things that I've learned is that some of the folks you might assume aren't interested in poetry, and sometimes the youngsters aren't, right? They open up to it once they see the power and relevance it has in terms of our well-being as not just young men, but as people in general. And what I really enjoy about it is seeing the transformation of some of the young men. I'm recalling one in particular, one of the first times that I came in here was very unresponsive, right? He was in there, but he was also not in there, if that makes sense. He was halfway there. And coming back continuously, seeing that evolution of this, and that multiple of them have done this, but really there's one particular one that's in my mind right now, just seeing the complete change and seeing the embrace that he now has on this program. He really enjoys it, and seeing that transformation to me has been one of the most enjoyable things. And also I would say one of the things that I really enjoy seeing the young men in there open up in ways that might be a little bit difficult for a lot of young men to do, but for some reason they feel comfortable in this space to do it. And I think it's very powerful. You know, we just kind of came out of there right now a few moments ago, and we ended it with what's one of the words you can use to describe this. And there was multiple words, but one of them that really stood out to me was one of the youngsters said he felt his word was peace, right? After going through this 1.5-hour workshop. And I think that's very powerful, a very powerful statement in a single word to say that someone feels peaceful, a youngster feels peaceful given the circumstances currently, right? So I would say that's what I've learned. One of the things that I've learned, and a couple of things that I've really enjoyed for being a part of this process.
For sure. My name is Donté Clark. I've been writing poetry for the past 16, 17 years. I've written 3 books of poetry. I'm on my way to publishing my 4th book of poetry. I've written some plays. I've taught dozens of workshops across the states and across Contra Costa County. And I think I'm just now hitting that peak of feeling like I am a poet. I put in my 10,000 hours for surely. The Poetry Series program is a space provided for young men in the Juvenile Detention Center. It's a space for 1 hour and 30 minutes for them to just come in with their thoughts, with their questions, or just with their attentive ears and just listen to what it is that we provide, whether that's creative writing prompts, whether that's questions and dialogue, or we just sit and pretty much just share what's happening in the space at that moment. So it's supposed to be a poetry series where we talk about poetry, we write poetry, and we share poetry, but a lot of the young men come in, never written poetry, don't really care too much about poetry, or they just haven't had the space to actually share their poetry. So it's like coming in like poetry 101. I'm a poet, I write. Do you write? What do you like about writing? So just kind of like gauging where the young folks are, and then from that organic conversation, how can we pull out certain themes that we all can relate to, and then turn those questions into writing prompts, you know what I mean? So sometimes we write in the space, and sometimes it's just like conversations get flowing where a person who was sitting in a corner like this wasn't really talking, and then now they're speaking more, and they don't really feel comfortable with writing or speaking or reading what they wrote out loud, but they don't mind answering in the moment. So the poetry series is just a space to provide us a think tank, if you will. This is what I'm thinking when you say this is what comes to mind, and it's how I'm feeling. And yeah. What I've learned from the Poetry Series program is words are very powerful. And I say that saying that even if a person doesn't seem to be interested in what's going on right now in the moment, doesn't mean that what you're saying or what you're sharing the seeds hasn't been planted, you know what I mean? And what I've learned is a person could be 3 weeks, come to the workshop and not say anything at all. And then on the 4th week come in and be like, I've been thinking about what you said, and eventually start sharing and then become like one of your most participating students, you know what I mean? So what I've learned is like, the old saying, you can't judge a book based off of the cover. You got to spend some time with understanding how the book came to be and validating that book and its experiences, and then, you know, asking for that permission. Can I open and read? And then I feel like when you take that time to do that and show that interest, most of the books open, you feel me, to you, and actually point you to the pages that they want you to read the most, you know what I mean? So that's what I've learned about the Poetry Series workshop. And what I like most about it is kind of like that painful process of I'm coming in here, I feel like I'm in a very restricted environment because I don't know what's going on. I don't know the dynamics between the young folks. I don't know how long you've been in here. I don't know what you're facing in real life. I don't know what your life is like on the outside of here. And I'm coming in here for 1 hour and 30 minutes to ask you questions as a stranger, hoping that you be vulnerable in this particular type of environment with the limited information that I have, and the fact that sometimes y'all make me work for it. You know what I mean? And then it feels like, dang, is this working? Am I getting? And then on the second, third, fourth, fifth week, you see, boom, I wrote a poem. Boom, actually, I wrote a couple of poems. Boom, actually, you know, I'm looking forward to asking questions. So that's what I've learned. You can't judge a book by its cover. And then two, when you patient with it, that book is gonna, when it opens up and it show you what it has to show you, it's gonna teach you like, that this wasn't for nothing. You know what I mean? This was, even if it's only for one student, you know what I mean? Because after we leave this workshop, sometimes we don't see the student again. And you never know what that hour and 30 minutes could have done for them on their journey. You know what I mean? So every minute, every word, every poet is worth it. You know what I'm saying?